Your morning coffee might be missing one thing, and there's a decent chance it's already sitting in your spice cabinet. Not a supplement, not some $40 powder from an ad you scrolled past, just a single whole clove. Stick with me for a few minutes, because what's actually happening in that cup is genuinely interesting, and I want to walk you through the real science behind it, not the exaggerated version that gets thrown around online. If you're over 55 and your mornings come with brain fog that lingers, some bloating after meals, achy knees when you first get up, or energy that fades out well before the day is over, this is worth sitting with. Let's start with coffee itself, because most people underestimate what's actually in the cup. Coffee isn't just caffeine. It's one of the richest dietary sources of polyphenols in the average American diet, and the standout among them is chlorogenic acid. Researchers have studied chlorogenic acid for its role in blood sugar regulation, its antioxidant activity, and its potential protective effects on the liver. This isn't fringe science. It's a well-documented compound, present in every cup of black coffee you drink. Now here's where clove comes in. Clove is the richest known dietary source of a compound called eugenol. No other common spice comes close to its concentration. Eugenol has been studied for decades for its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, both in lab settings and in some animal studies. Some early research suggests that eugenol and chlorogenic acid may act through complementary biological pathways, meaning that combining them could, in theory, offer more support than either compound working alone. That idea, often called nutrient or food synergy, is a real and active area of nutrition science. What we can talk about honestly is the underlying chemistry and how to prepare it in a way that actually preserves it. So let's talk about what most people get wrong with their coffee before we even get to the clove. Sugar spikes your insulin response and can blunt some of the antioxidant benefit you'd otherwise get. Milk and cream contain casein, a protein that does bind to certain polyphenols and can reduce how much your body absorbs. Instant coffee tends to lose a portion of its polyphenol content during processing, compared to freshly brewed. And that heavily sweetened coffee shop drink loaded with syrup and whipped cream is, chemically speaking, closer to dessert than to the polyphenol-rich drink coffee can actually be. Here's how to prepare clove-infused coffee properly so you're not wasting the clove. Take 2 to 3 whole dried cloves, not ground, not powdered, whole. Ground clove oxidizes fast and loses potency quickly once exposed to air. Put the whole cloves in a small pot with about 1.5 cups of water. Bring it to a boil, then reduce the heat and let it simmer gently for about 5 minutes. Don't go much longer than that. Eugenol is a heat-sensitive compound, and overboiling can start to break it down rather than release more of it. Strain out the cloves, and use that infused water to brew your coffee however you normally do, whether that's a drip machine, a French press, or a pod machine. Drink it black if you can manage it, since cutting the cream and sugar helps preserve more of what you're trying to get out of it. If black coffee really isn't for you, a small spoon of coconut oil or a pinch of cinnamon is a gentler alternative to dairy. If mornings are too rushed for a 5-minute simmer, there's a faster version. Crush 1 whole clove with the flat side of a knife or in a small mortar, drop it directly into your already brewed coffee, and let it steep for about 3 minutes before drinking. This is a lighter version of the effect, since less eugenol is released without the heat of simmering, but it's a reasonable shortcut on a busy morning. A couple of common mistakes worth avoiding. Dropping a whole, uncrushed clove into a finished cup of coffee does almost nothing, since clove is a hard spice and eugenol needs either heat or physical crushing to release. And boiling cloves for much longer than 5 to 7 minutes doesn't make the coffee more potent. It just risks breaking down the compound you're trying to preserve. More time in the pot isn't better here. Now, a few honest, important notes on who this isn't for. If you take blood thinners, including warfarin, or you're on a regular high dose of aspirin, talk to your doctor before adding clove to your routine, since eugenol does have a mild anticoagulant effect that could interact. If you deal with active gastritis, ulcers, or significant acid reflux, coffee itself, clove or not, may not agree with you, and that's worth discussing with your doctor rather than working around. And I want to be clear about something else. If you're dealing with real joint pain, ongoing fatigue, or blood sugar swings that are actually interfering with your life, those deserve a real conversation with a doctor, not a home remedy standing in for one. Subscribe on Lee Health Lab for more health tips.